Roy Kolbe, Laurent Kiersmakers, Rasmus Tali, all within one another as they come down into the final chicane. With 37 laps to go, Kolbe's taking a huge amount of curb, and Tali goes through. So, and David Greco now is closing on Kolbe as they come down into turns 1 and 2. Kolbe's gone in deep, and well, a raggedy couple of corners there from Roy Kolbe, and Greco's going to be up inside. Can he? No, not quite. Kolbe had the momentum just about as they come through turns 3 and 4. Well, into the pits comes Dennis Hurl then. Let's hope he can keep it a little bit. Oh, that's going to be close with that car there, but just about managed to avoid it as he comes into the pit lane now. Let's see where this will bring him out with regards to the other members of the race that he was battling with. Comes to the pit lane speed line, hits the pit lane speed limiter, and out he comes into a fair chunk of clear air there, I think, for Dennis Hurl, so he'll be quite pleased with that. But here's Kolbe being followed by Greco as they come down into the hairpin. Greco's gone in deep and he's hit Kolbe! Kolbe spins, and Greco's carrying on as Kolbe waits for a clear moment in the track, and well, Greco's up off the road. I would have thought he would have waited there. Here's the replay. We can see Greco just too late on the brakes. Here comes the contact. Bam! That'll spin Kolbe around, and well, it did look like Kolbe was going a bit slowly there, but obviously caught Greco out. But that's completely Greco's fault. There's no two ways about that. It's always the car behind's responsibility not to drive into the one in front. As we see Giuseppe Marconi having a little bit of a moment there, and Meglick is getting close and looks to the outside as they come. Oh, Marconi's closed him off. Contact, and Marconi has to go across the grass there to hold the position. That's an interesting one as well. We've had a couple of interesting moments. Here's Meglick again coming up the inside. This time he's got the speed in the DHR car and takes 13th position. Does he? No, he's broken way too late, and Marconi will surely get back through into that 13th place. So these two have been swapping places all day as he lets a Twister car there go through, I think, lapping him, as Kiersmakers comes out of the pits. They're side by side with Rasmus Tali, and it is Tali who has come out in front, but they have come out right in front of this Meglick and Marconi battle, and around they come the outside, and now Marconi will have to back off, and that could allow Meglick an opportunity. But up front, Kiersmakers, round he goes. Kiersmakers gets it all wrong on the entrance to 3, and so now we're looking further down the order to Fausto Pappalardo. The action coming thick and fast here is he's being chased by Florian Becker, who's really looking like he's on a mission, and Pappalardo's gone a bit wide, and oh, they've both synchronized spinning there from Pappalardo and Becker. Becker saw the tiny gap, and then Pappalardo shut the door, and I think that's more of a racing incident rather than anything, but who am I to judge? But Pappalardo has got going a lot quicker than Becker, as we're on board with Rasmus Tali now chasing down Dennis Hurl, and Hurl is will be disappointed, I think, with how his race is panning out at the moment, but Rasmus Tali won't be. He's got an excellent strip stream, and we'll look at the inside. Hurl goes defensive, Tali looks to the outside. Let's see what happens as they come down. Oh, Tali bounces across the grass and takes the position, and that could be a bit, he's easing off the power, I think. Here Tali, is he? I'm not entirely sure as they come down into turn 1. It's a late lunge from Hurl. Yes, Tali has let Dennis Hurl go back through. That's good racing there from Tali. He knew he'd made an illegal move and relet the position for Dennis Hurl. But he's going to have another go into the chicane as they come down again. And oh, he's got sideways again. Straight across he goes. This is a bit messy racing between Tali and Hurl at the moment. Down in 12th place, Sven Hess has got it wrong at the hairpin. A bit late on the brakes, and fairly minor in the end. Loses a couple of positions, but nothing too serious. Here's Fausto Pappalardo coming through that tricky corner that I was talking about earlier, and across he goes into the barrier on the other side, and again. A big incident there for Fausto Pappalardo, and he has wrecked his car, and well, he's all over the place now as he comes through the well, I don't know why he's still driving. His suspension's going to be messed. He's got no front wing or rear wing. His wheels will be out of alignment, and he's spinning back across the circuit. Jaakko Mikkonen then in for his final pit stop of the day. Let's see how this unfolds, and I think he should be able to rejoin in the lead, actually. And Fausto Pappalardo there, who we saw spinning earlier ago, has retired from this race now as Mikkonen exits the pits, and I think he will rejoin in the lead. Yep, into the lead is Jarkko Mikkonen, remaining there after his pit stop. This is Sean Stroud again, down in 16th position, exiting turn 6 and 7, and that's fire coming from the back of the Torrent Motorsports car, and I think that's what's known as karma. Stroud has been a bit of a menace all day, and finally, well, he's going to park it on the racing line. That's sensible stuff from Stroud, and he's going to sit on the racing line for a while before retiring. So a miserable day for Stroud, an embarrassing day for Stroud is over with engine failure. And Greco then is back up into second position, past Roy Kolbe, of course, because due to that contact that we saw earlier, and is now fought his way back up to be challenging Mikkonen again with 14 laps to go, coming through the final chicane. And going to get a bit of slipstream now, and in fact he's going to pull alongside for the lead of this race, and David Greco fairly comfortably, it has to be said. I don't like to be cynical, but that was a fairly comfortable overtake for David Greco to go past his teammate Jarkko Mikkonen. Further back down the order, Benjamin Burmeister. We haven't heard from him in a while. He's battling with Giuseppe Marconi, and he's going past. And so now he's up into the top 10, in fact. And if we remember, he didn't have a rear wing at the end of the first lap, had to have a whole pit stop, and ended up a lap down. So this is an inspired drive from Burmeister. Very impressive stuff. And Blair Disley in 6th position is battling for 5th place with Rasmus Tali. He's going to look to the outside as they come down into the chicane. Tali gives him no space whatsoever. Firm defensive driving, to put it mildly, from Rasmus Tali, and Disley will have to try again. And here he is, going to try again on the exit of turn 7. Tali's going to have to go defensive here. Disley's looking up the inside. He hasn't quite got the slipstream as they come into the chicane. Plenty of curb being used by the both of them as they head down now into the hairpin. And it looks like Disley's dropped behind a little bit, but his best opportunity is going to be to get a good exit from the hairpin. You can see he left his turning point a little later in order to get a better run out and to get a better slipstream, and Giuseppe Marconi's exploded. Is that? Yes, engine blows from 13th position, parks it sensibly off the racing line on the grass, and that's a real shame for Marconi. With only 6 laps to go, he is out of the race. Shame there for Marconi. Greco leading the race and is pulling away now from Mikkonen as he laps Sven Hess. He's driven a good race today, David Greco, apart from the contact with Kolbe, which I'm surprised that he hasn't waited for Kolbe, or nothing's come of that. Perhaps post-race we will see something with that. And Dennis Hurl, and we're on to the final lap now, in fact, and coming through the final corners, Rasmus Tali is going to be quite close to Dennis Hurl on this final lap, so this could be a bit close. And but up at the front, it's slightly orchestrated, slightly tarred with that contact with Kolbe, but across the line nevertheless comes David Greco to win the 2009 Canadian Formula Sim Racing.net Grand Prix. A great win for Greco. Mikkonen comes home in second, so it's a good day for Precision Motorsports. But Roy Kolbe is here, coming out of the final chicane, gets a little bit sideways, shakes the steering wheel, and crosses the line to be the 2009 Formula Sim Racing World Champion. Fantastic result for Kolbe. He is the world champion, and he is chuffed to pieces with that, it would seem. Does a little spin, and no doubt some donuts are to follow on the grass on the exit of turn 2. It's been a fantastic season. He's battled with the likes of Marquez, Disley, Mikkonen, Kolbe. He is Kolbe, sorry, Greco, but overall he has come out on top. It's a fantastic World Championship victory for Roy Kolbe. He knew what he needed to do, he did it, and he did it in fine style. David Greco wins the race nevertheless. Take nothing away from him after his victory today, and that will improve his position in the standings, no doubt. A few of the cars doing donuts there, down at the hairpin. 1.5 hours this race took, and here are the results. David Greco wins, Jarkko Mikkonen second, Bono Huis in the end finished in 3rd place, with Dennis Hurl in 4th, and 7th place was all it took for Roy Kolbe to become the 2009 champion. There's a list of the retirements. We had 13 classified finishers, Fausto Pappalardo being the last one, 3 laps down after all his incidents today. and there we see Dale Carrick and John Eric Saxon not finishing this race. So the Drivers' World Champion is Roy Kolbe, finishing ahead of Dennis Hurl, so a 1-2 for Twister in the championship standings, which no doubt they'll be very pleased about. Indeed, here is the Constructors' Championship. Twister wrapped it up about 4 years ago now with those two drivers. Ash Racing in second, and Precision will be hoping to grab second at the final round next time in Brazil.